And the meeting is live.
Thank you, everybody. This is Councilman Gil Cedillo. I'm very happy to be with you this afternoon, September 3rd, 2 p.m. for the Immigrant Affairs, Civil Rights, and Equity Committee. Can we please have the clerk read the roll?
Yes, Councilmember Cedillo.
Here.
Councilmember Wesson. Councilmember Wesson is absent. Councilmember Price.
Present.
And Councilmember Martinez. Councilmember Martinez is absent. And Councilmember Rue.
Present.
So we have 3 members and a quorum, Mr. Chair.
Welcome back, Councilmember Rue. Very happy to see you. Can we have the clerk read the instructions for public comment?
Yes, so members of the public who would like to offer public comment on the items listed on the agenda should call 1-669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-871-1866 and then press pound. Press pound again when prompted for the participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press *9 to request to speak.
Is there a queue on public speakers right now?
There is, Mr. Chair. We have about 2 people waiting.
Let's hear them. Let's hear from them, please.
Okay.
254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-871-1866 and then press pound. Press pound again when prompted for the participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting,
Hello.
press *9 to request to. Hello.
Caller number with the number 6498. Please state your name and the items you wanted to speak on. 254-5252. Hello, caller.
Yes.
Please state your name and the items you wanted to speak on.
My name is Eden Enamorado, and this is a general comment.
Okay, you have 1 minute, sir.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, my name is Eden Enamorado. I am calling on behalf of USC. We have a project going on. It's called Tirando Muros, and this is a project funded by NIH, the National Institute of Health. And we are searching for guidance and maybe requesting a item on the agenda for presentation. We are looking for this study is focused on the health disparities amongst immigrants in Los Angeles from urban cities in Mexico. For more information, you can check our Facebook, facebook.com/tirandomurosla.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thanks. See you, bye.
Thank you. Caller, please state your name and the items you wanted to speak on. Caller with the last 4 numbers as 1403. Could you please state your name and the items you wanted to speak on?
Yes, hello?
Yes. Please state your name and the items you wanted to speak on.
Yes, I'm Kern Price's brother. I'd like to speak on all items in general public comment.
You have 2 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. What is it that will have all of these appointments to this commission and I cannot open the documents on Zoom food? We have a packed deck of commission members on the Human Relations Commission. And one of your commission members just lost his twin brother in Boston. And you're putting him through this excruciating appointment process when he should be grieving. So I think you should take his name off of there and let him heal. And you have the rest of these committee members, and they all not doing the committee. There isn't a single Jew on the committee. There isn't a single gay man on the committee. There isn't a single white man or woman on the committee. And yet you call yourself Equal Rights Commission. There ain't no goddamn equal rights. Just ask Herb Wesson when he just dropped his cigarette out of his mouth. I saw that on my special. Yes, sir. Now you have the sinner's workforce. The workforce for women, you can't afford to pay those bitches any more money than you can afford to pay other bitches. You just took an unemployed half of us yesterday in your circle.
Sir. Mr. Chair, that's all the calls we have for public comment.
That concludes public comment. We're going to close public comment now and go forward with the agenda. Mr. Clerk, you want to read that we have 6 items 1 through 6 that are available for reappointment and available for a consent motion.
Yes, would you like me to read the roll for approval of those 6 items?
Yes.
Okay, Councilmember Cedillo.
Cedillo, aye.
Councilmember Price.
Aye.
And Councilmember Rue.
Aye.
Items 1 through 6 pass.
Thank you. I want to thank all the commissioners who have dialed in. I appreciate your time, and we definitely appreciate your service. And I think that's manifested in the reappointment, so I want to congratulate everybody. Can we move to are we up on item 8 now? Is that where we're headed?
Item number 8 is a motion for Councilmembers Koretz and Harris Dawson relative to the feasibility of establishing a civil and human rights impact assessment program for application to departmental, city council, and mayor action and decision making.
Okay. You have a report?
Councilmember, this is Felipe Chavez with the CLA's office. There is no report on this item. It's just a motion, and it's seeking approval from this committee.
Any presentation on the motion?
I don't believe there's a presentation on this motion.
So then it would look to the department, the newly established department, to make the report, right?
Correct.
Just Mike Dundas, City Attorney, one clarification, Councilmember. There's a pending motion to actually create the department. So at this time, it's still just the commission. So the action by the committee should be to ask for the commission to give the report back until such time as the department is created. The motion was just a little bit ahead of time.
Right. I don't want to, Counselor, I really appreciate you. You know that. Why don't we, we'll express what you just articulated, but we'll also note that when the department comes into being, which will be shortly, that we don't have to come back, that it will transition to the commission.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's deal with the reality of that. In fact, today we have a commission that we anticipate the establishment of a department, and the motion will address those 2 entities. Make sense?
Yes.
Clear as mud? Okay. Can we get a roll call?
Yes, so this is for item number 8, Councilmember Cedillo.
Cedillo, aye?
Councilmember Price.
Aye.
And Councilmember Rue.
Aye.
3 votes and item number 8 passes.
Next item.
We still have 2 items on the agenda. We have item number 7, which is the appointment of Mr. J. Sanderson, and we have item number 9, which is regarding women's pay and representation in the city's workforce.
Okay. Is the appointee available?
I am.
We ready
am, Councilman.
to? Yes, good to see you, Jay.
See you, Chair.
You want to say hello to us?
It's a great honor to be in your presence, everybody on this call. We're at a very important moment for our city, for our country, and I feel honored to be able to be nominated. And if you vote for me, I promise to do this task with all my energy, all my passion. I'm deeply committed to the city and helping us move forward at this very critical time.
Any feedback from my colleagues?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Let's just say
Yes.
quick, if I could quickly say, thank you, Mr. Sanderson, for your willingness to serve in this voluntary position. And, we are very excited that you will be joining this commission. You are no stranger to Los Angeles and to City Hall with all of your great works that you've done in the past. And I want to say, my very first trip to Israel, and it took me a long time to get on a trip, but my very first trip was with you and the Federation, and I really appreciate that. It was one of the most eye-opening experiences. It was during one of those times of crises that we had to cut the trip short, so I'm going to use that as an excuse to go again. But thank you for your service. It's great to have your experience and your viewpoints on the Human Relations Commission. Thank you so very much for your service.
Mr. Price?
Just want to thank you, Jay, for your service. It's always good to see you, and thanks for your commitment to our city. Thank you, sir.
Jay, let me say this, that, this commission and this department are going to play a very critical role as this city goes forward. We're at an extraordinary moment of tumult and social unrest, the pandemic, and the issues that confront us with respect to race and gender. This is one of those moments where we look to build an institution out of the new department and give new vitality to all the various commissions so that the city is playing a deeper role in every manifestation of discrimination, be it race or gender, LGBTQ status, immigration status, etc., so that we deal with it at the front end in a very efficient way and in a very institutional way with all the resources of the prestige and power of the city. And so I thank you for coming forward, because I'm really excited about this next phase in my public service life on the council, and I'm looking forward to us standing up this new department and building forward. So congratulations. It really is a significant moment for all of us.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you. We need a roll call.
Yes, Councilmember Cedillo,
Still aye.
Councilmember Price,
Aye.
and Councilmember Rue.
Aye.
Item number 7 passes.
Thank you.
And the last item on our agenda is item number 9, which is a controller report relative to closing the gap for women's pay and representation in the city's workforce. This was also referred to the Personnel and Animal Welfare Committee.
Okay. We have somebody from the controller's office.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you. And Mr. Chair and council members, my name is Bob Wingenroth, and I'm the Audit Service Director with the Controller's Office. I'm joined by Deputy Director of Auditing, Siri Kalsa. As we're joined by Deborah Caruso and Aram Kuamjian, Assistant General Managers with the Personnel Department.
Good afternoon, council members. We are very pleased to be here with you today to present the Controller's Report, Closing the Gap, Women's Pay and Representation at the City of Los Angeles. This project focused on analyzing the data contained within the city's payroll system in order to present a picture of the city's workforce relative to gender. The Controller felt that it was important to share this information with city leaders, along with some context and broad recommendations, so that policymakers could take appropriate action to narrow the gender gap. We did not assess, nor can we comment on, any prior efforts or current measures that were taken by the city relative to recruitment, selection, or promotion of women in the workforce. Rather, we focused on the data, and the data shows that we can do a lot more. This data was sourced from the city's payroll system, PACER, which includes employee profile information. When every new employee is hired, a self-identified information from their application is entered into the payroll system. So using that profile data for all active full-time city employees as of a certain point in time and over a one-year period, we were able to pull relevant information to paint the picture of the city's workforce. This point-in-time measurement was as of early December 2019, so that the numbers of women and men employed in various departments, as well as their job classifications, was accurate as of that date. The gross pay and overtime analysis used actual payroll information from fiscal year 2019 through 2020. The observations from our analysis are striking. Women comprise just 28% of our full-time workforce. This stems primarily from the fact that our largest departments and the city's sworn personnel are disproportionately male. Also, while men and women who occupy the same job classification are paid the same amount, if we look at the city as a whole, the average gross annual pay for women was just 76% of that amount earned by men. To increase gender equity within the city's workforce, the report offers three broad recommendations. First, that the city leaders develop a plan with goals and strategies to attract, develop, and retain diverse talent pools and heightened cultural competencies of city leadership and its workforce. Second, for the personnel department, in conjunction with those departments that have had a low representation of women employees, to submit annual reports that formally document the efforts to achieve greater representation of women, especially for classifications that have traditionally been male-oriented. And lastly, to create a working group that includes members from the community, as well as labor organizations, the CAO, and the personnel department, to be tasked with creating a pathway for women to better participate in all job classifications, including through promotions and their ability to earn overtime, thereby increasing women's ability to occupy the highest paying jobs. And with that, we are available to answer any of the committee's questions regarding this report.
Colleagues, Mr. Rue?
No questions.
Mr. Price?
Thank you, Senator. I appreciate this discussion, and thank you for your leadership of this committee. I also want to thank the controller for putting together this report and taking the lead on such an important matter. Like the rest of my colleagues, I am disturbed and troubled by these findings. In my office, at City Hall and the district office, I'm proud to say that my staff is comprised of 7 men and 15 women, all of which are women of color. In addition, many of these women are in senior leadership positions, pushing the envelope as key issues like homelessness, the budget, and planning. So what I see every day in my staff is not what I see reflected in the report. On the contrary, I see a complete missed opportunity. LA is known for being a trailblazer in policy. We're known as standing up for the most vulnerable and doing what is right. Well, 28% is not right, plain and simple. There are departments with less than 5% women in their field and other departments with 0 Black women. I think we should all take issue to what I just said, which is why I'm glad to help push on equality issues such as these, and I'm an ally in the fight for women equity. We have to do better and ensure that this report is the first step in acknowledging the shortcomings and steps necessary in tackling discrimination, achieving gender equity, and improving inclusion for all women. Mr. Chairman, I do have just two brief questions I'd like to pose to staff. When we're discussing wage gap, women of color are historically known to get even less than their white counterparts. Do we have data that addresses the wage gap amongst women of color?
Mr. Chair, Councilmember Price, we are in the early stages of putting together an analysis that's very similar to the one before you, but also includes ethnicity. And we're in the early stages. I can't tell you when we will have that completed and if we can garner enough information out of it, but it's something that we're working on. And when we're complete, we will share it with the group.
Yeah, I really certainly understand that culling that information may be a little difficult now, given the total legal framework. We hope that will change in November. But I think it's important that we be able to identify, where the gaps are if we're serious about trying to close them. And similarly, I think we need to do more to recruit more women of color. And again, I'm not asking you to answer that now, but suggesting that is an issue, I think, that needs to be a part of this overall discussion. I think I look forward to working with you as you come up with answers and working with you as we develop solutions that are meaningful and that can make a difference. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all I have.
Mr. Price, thank you. As always, you are on point. I'm also interested with respect to non-binary population within the city workforce. I'm interested in the immigrant workforce in the city and how we're working to create opportunity so that it reflects the city. At least my district is extraordinarily immigrant. I think I'm at maybe up to 90%. This is a very dynamic city. It's a very exciting city. And the city needs to make sure that we integrate the incredible talents and workforce that come from throughout the world. Any thoughts on that?
Mr. Chair, I believe that the ethnicity aspect of your wishes is something that we will work hard with the information that we have available to answer your questions and to shed light on that. The issue associated with non-binary, our current system, it's 20 years old. It's called the PACER system. It only provides male and female. So historically, we won't be able to get information on that, but I do have good news that the city, a number of city departments, including our personnel department, are working on a new payroll system that will include, as you mentioned, but it will also include a number of ways to look at gender identity, sexual orientation, to, I think, be able to provide much more robust information so that we'd sometime in the next year or two, we'd be able to fully answer both questions that you're asking.
Okay. I appreciate that. That's obviously, I know, very important to the council. It's important to my office. We are huge supporters. And so we want to make sure that we have that. So it gives us a full picture so that we need the baseline so we can know where to set our goals. Anything else, colleagues? All right, I'm going to want to move this motion, but I want to add some more specific amendments to the motion in general. Are you ready, Michael?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So I would add, and I don't know if you've gotten this from my staff, but to instruct the Personnel Department with the assistance of the Human Relations Commission and the Commission on the Status of Women to develop a strategic plan with clear goals to better recruit, hire, develop, and retain women in the departments across the city, including women of color, transgender women, and non-binary individuals. So that's one. Two, instruct the Personnel Department with the assistance of the Human Relations Commission and the Commission on the Status of Women to create this working group of city officials, community labor partners tasked with designing a clear pathway to help women, including women of color, transgender, non-binary, to participate in all job classifications and promotional opportunities focused on higher paying jobs with access to overtime. And finally, the required that the largest city departments, as specified in the Controller's Report, to submit annual reports on their efforts to attract, recruit, hire, and retain more women, including women of color, transgender, and non-binary individuals, to all levels of city government, including entry-level jobs that have traditionally been dominated by women. And let me be more specific. There are certain jobs, the fire department, for example, the building trades, for example, public works, for example, where we need to find greater balance and opportunity so that we're providing opportunity for all Angelenos, independent of gender. And so I think there's specific departments that are glaring and jump out at us, and I think we need to look at those as we respond to the 3 points that we highlighted. Anything else? Is that clear? Can we get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Price. So with that, I'm prepared to move this matter.
Okay, I will take the roll. Councilmember Cedillo,
Cedillo, aye.
Councilmember Price,
Aye.
and Councilmember Rue.
Aye.
So this item is approved with the amendments.
Thank you so much. How's the desk?
The desk is clear.
Motion to adjourn?
So move.
So moved without objection. At 30 minutes to the point, to the second, I thank all of you for spending the afternoon with us. Congratulations to all the commissioners. While we sit in this pandemic, it allows us to ponder and to reflect. And I have to tell you that I'm very excited about the prospects of us moving forward. We've got so much work to do, but I'm excited because we are setting up the infrastructure, and I know we have the human capital for us to move forward in these areas. So thank you, everybody. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, and stay well.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you for your leadership.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, council members.